In this video, I'm going to give you 4 tips for lighting in Toonsquid. Tip number 1. When you are creating a light source, instead of doing a solid colour, like this orangey ball here, what you want to do instead is make the ball white, then use the airbrush, create a tiny orb of light, and put this behind the whitish colour. And if we duplicate this, then we can make it a bit more vibrant. Now you can see it looks a lot brighter than the other way of doing lighting. Tip number 2. When you are adding shading and highlights, if you use the mask feature, it can make it way easier. So to give you an example, we will create another sphere here. Here we go. Create a new layer on top and press toggle mask. Now if we take the airbrush and we add shading and highlights on this separate layer, it will actually only stay inside the edge of the circle. I really like this feature because you don't have to spend the entire time trying to erase all the edges if you've added shading. It already does it inside the circle. Tip number 3. When you are adding shadows to colours, avoid using solid black colours and instead use a darker value to the colour you are shading. So here we have a carrot, and instead of using a solid black colour underneath it, like so, it can actually look better if you just use a darker value to the orange of the carrot. So this is the orange of the carrot, and if we take the value down, it can just make it look a slightly more realistic. So here it looks like the colour of it is bouncing back onto the carrot and reflecting onto the background. That is tip number 3. Final tip number 4. If you are creating a light source that has vibrant colours like greens or reds, like a red of a fire, try not to use a white highlight. Instead use the orangey highlight, for example, for fire. We can draw a quick fire here. If you add a character, for example, I don't know, a stick man, if I try to add a white highlight to it, like with the airbrush, a white highlight doesn't actually look that realistic. Whereas if we add a orange highlight, then the color of the fire really does look way more vibrant. And this is quite a common tip, so you probably already know this, but I think it can make animations look way more professional. Thank you for watching this video. If you aren't already, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one.